customer. So like in the hospital, patient get transformed. The ill patient comes, then he is being given some prescription, then he get actually cured. So customer get transformed, right? Or there is a one more is called the information get transformed, especially actually in banking services, right? Going, getting actually the loan, right? So information is collected, then information flow that you have got a loan, or we go to the banking systems, then find out the lot of possible actually fixed deposit schemes. So this is the information is getting transformed. So what is more core? Okay, that is where the focus could be. But yeah, simultaneously all three could also be present in any actually no operations. Either it could be material, customer, information, or combination of three also, right? Basically, if you see this manufacturing, it was called the production somewhere in 90s, and the book which was written was the production management or manufacturing management. But later, when the service industry grew, like this Amazon and a lot of company actually grew, airlines, especially GDP also started growing through service industry. Then these authors or the people who develop those theory realize that the concepts are also applicable in the services. So they, to include the services, they actually rename this subject as operations management. So after 2000, you will see that books names are operations management. But later on, when supply chain also become one of the buzzword, okay, in this particular domain, they rename it actually in operations and supply chain management. But generally, one or two maximum chapters were there with reference to supply chain management. But you will be surprised to know that first book on supply chain was written in 2004, textbook by Sunil Chopra. And then since then there are 6 to 7 additions. 6 additions actually have come. So what happened before that? Before 2004, this was supply chain was discussed as one of the actually what we can say is one of the session in operations management, or it was some business school started teaching it as one of the elective, okay, smaller number of section. But after 2004, it picked up and then become also one big kind of elephant. And then people started teaching supply chain itself as one of the subject, okay, either core, okay, or the elective, right? So material, customer, and information actually get transformed. And so as I discussed, the operation include both manufacturing plus service. So we'll see what the differentiation between these things. Anything you want to add? Anybody? Just raise your hand.
Operation includes manufacturing and what you said, sir?
Service.
Okay, sir.
Service industries also. Because now, we have different industry like agri. Culture is also one of the industry. But we do not include agriculture as a part of this operations management. But post-harvest, whatever happened, that is again part of this manufacturing or whatever service. But this sowing, then harvesting, that is not a part of manufacturing or service. We cannot classify it as a manufacturing. So this itself is called a different industry called agriculture. We'll see, we revisit why it is not called manufacturing. But yeah, anything other than this? So is it possible to complete the good or services only in one stage? Okay, we have already written many stages. So is it that every output of the good or services goes to the customer only or no?
No, sir. Quality comes in between. Manufacturing and quality.
Yeah. So many other issues also need to be addressed. But what I am saying is that output of one company would be input to other, or it could go to the customer also. So especially B2B, okay, kind of companies. Yeah, Imanshu.
Yeah, sir, absolutely. Because for one company whose output can be used like B2B, you mentioned, right? Like we are into B2B, so we have a litigation check service. So the banks who are offering to the customers loans, they get a B2B product from this litigation check from us, and then they are able to. So yeah, our output is their input in a way.
Yeah, so this is how we can classify these operations, right? Mm, so the then question is that what, how do you differentiate good and services, especially good company or manufacturing company or services company? What differentiation you see? If you could imagine what are the manufacturing company or service company. So what is this Amazon? Do you think?
Service.
It is service company.
Service company.
Okay. This Bajaj Auto or Maruti is like a manufacturing company, right? So how do we differentiate between these two companies?
I
What
think
could be
for a goods company, there must be a physical product
Amazon
that's
also has a
sold.
physical product.
No, but that's not their core product. I mean, their
Ah,
product
okay.
is the delivery of someone else's physical
Okay.
product.
So we can say tangible things are happening. Probably
Yeah,
change.
tangible versus intangible.
Uh,
That's the
uh, any other point? Yeah, anybody?
So the customer involvement, like you mentioned, in services, the input is having heavy on customer being involved in the whole process of operation rather than manufacturing taking place at a particular facility in a factory like that, maybe.
Yeah, low customer involvement or contact. But in services, customer parties also we can say high customer contact. Anything?
Uh,
Manufacturing, they produce
Yeah,
something,
Sunil.
and
Yeah, Sunil.
manufacturing.
Then I come to Warren. Okay.
Yeah. So for Amazon example, it is a service from a services perspective, but they have their own product also like AWS, which is a
Yeah,
product.
yeah. So
So
then, yeah,
so it will be both of them together also. I mean that scenario is also there.
yeah. So maybe for the practical purpose, we divide also company A and B within Amazon, saying one is manufacturing, another is service.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Warren.
The same thing was Sunil was saying, like in manufacturing, it's more like they produce something, and in Amazon, that they deliver the finished product.
Yeah. Anything other than this?
Sir, inventories.
What do you mean by inventories?
Goods company can store inventories, and product company, if they are storing, it can be खराब हो जाएगा टाइप का, तुरंत तुरंत निकालना है उनको सर्विसेज कंपनी को, अगर वो कुछ खरीद रही है प्रोडक्ट कंपनी से तो.
No, the one, see, then it is something like perishable, non-perishable. Even the manufacturing company produces which is perishable kind of product. And non-perishable also are there, like no, Amul producing milk packet. No? That is also manufacturing, I guess. And therefore, the perishability is very low, perishability is very high. That's what we can say within a manufacturing. And therefore, it become very important also that what actually, planning you do so that product doesn't expire.
Okay.
Right. So let us see one most important aspect of manufacturing.
One more thing on the quality, sir, I would like to add.
Yeah. So, so what do you mean by quality part?
Sir, here when you're manufacturing, you have a process whereby you can control the quality and check the quality of the goods being produced. And in the service, it is more of a perception as to what is the
Okay. So maybe
services that
more
you are
evident we can say in terms of measurement, and it is here more of perception, which may be difficult, but one can still find out attribute on which customer actually value the quality of service, right? So let us see one important characteristics which make services different and therefore the concept we apply. Okay, this manufacturing concept in service. Let's take the example of barber. Barber can actually make haircut for 4 people, 15 on an average minutes. So 8 o'clock he opened the shop, and therefore we know that we can handle 4 people very easily. But those 4 people actually comes very late, 8:30. So is it possible that to handle in 1 hour, 8 to 9, all 4? I think.
No.
Okay. So what happened over, you have lost because there was no customer, that you cannot use it in future, right? But in manufacturing, even if there is a demand which are likely to come higher later, we can still produce today and then fill that demand, right? You can inventory. So therefore, one important difference between manufacturing and service is that output or capacity can be inventoried. And here, output or capacity cannot be inventoried, right? So this is how the demand is for the manufacturing. This is how your capacity is. So whatever is today's capacity, we can use for the future. We can, and this is what manufacturing does also. That is how they use uniform capacity, manage it, smoothen their actual demand. Okay, somehow. But if this is the case of services, it is very difficult to use actually today's capacity in future. So for the same demand parameter or same demand profile, services need higher capacity compared to manufacturing to have same level of satisfaction or maybe the service level. Or else we can say that for the same demand pattern, services need more capacity buffer to handle the demand, right? Therefore, utilization, okay, of the manufacturing is likely to be very high compared to actually the services, right? So that is how we can actually differentiate manufacturing and services. Now, if you see again the agriculture example, why it is not manufacturing, you see, that sowing grains, then okay, is my voice clear? Okay, so I think somebody posted a message. I think Shaurya, you just check or reduce your actually volume otherwise. Just adjust because I think it is with you only. Or else I reduce. No, my it's okay. Okay, so why do you think agriculture does not fall in manufacturing?
So because they are processing food,
Okay, processing.
food.
Okay. So see, why I find that agriculture does not fall in our manufacturing. Generally, if you say manufacturing will take one, whatever raw material take it, let's say one, and they can at the most produce one. That's where we say highest efficiency, 100% efficiency, right? But generally, you do the evaluation of how much raw material these people are consuming, and then how much is the value added output. It will be always less than actually one, okay, in terms of input and output. So they can take one, they can make only one, correct? They can take one or they can make less than one also, right? So 100 raw material takes, but only 95 products are produced. But only agriculture is the one which take one input and then they can make 1,000 or 10,000. So they sow one seed and then make a 10,000 or 1,000 seeds. That's why human life is surviving, and this is the gift of the God. Therefore, you see that who add the value. So if you see farmer actually adding more value, right? But once the harvest happen, after that also a lot of businesses are actually processing that, ITC, Hindustan Unilever, right? That's again business. Okay, then it fall again in manufacturing. Okay, other things I think which came out initially was that uh, the objective of operation is the efficiency, right? So initially, I think somebody said when we talk here that objective is how efficiently we actually handle the operation. Yes, of course, the objective is that how efficiently means with minimum actually resources, how best output we can give, right? But it is not always the objective, because when we look at efficiency, then our objective is generally the cost, because that's what traditionally people thought that we have to be very cost effective, right? But then customer also not giving always importance to cost. There are other parameter also come into picture. That's where we call it effectiveness, correct? So one example of this efficiency versus effectiveness is IIM Indore ambulance, right? So if you see IIM Indore ambulance efficiency we want to find out, then there are the 8 hour, 3 drivers are always on ambulance, and then 365 days. So this is the input hours, and because institute is paying also money to them, and it is always 24 hours. And if we put here summation that how much time the ambulance was really delivering the patient, and then you see that it won't be more than 10%. Probably for hospital it is, right? Because it keeps on moving here and there also. But if institutes say that no, this is very inefficient, let us remove the ambulance. Then objective of keeping the ambulance. Hello? So the objective of ambulance is not cost effectiveness. The objective of the ambulance is actually how fast you deliver the people to the hospital. Therefore, time also came into picture. And more the competition on the time, the more the cost, okay, of the operations will be. So that is where the operation does not compete only on the basis of cost, but yes, we should pursue the cost, but not the expenses of time. Then quality. Then there are other parameters which we'll see the shortly, right? In fact, I have seen the many people lives saved by IIM Indore actually in ambulance. Right now, then the question is that can we classify some company into manufacturing and then actually the service? So let us say 100% manufacturing and then 0% manufacturing and then 0% service and then 100% service, right? So where can we, so like 100% service, it's not, no, actually manufacturing. So where can we classify this Amazon? Which side? Can we classify here? Amazon as a basic, as a core business, if you see. I have seen that Amazon themselves are not manufacturing. They get it through some contract manufacturer, put their label, because they had been doing already, right? So if you see 99% of the Amazon business is selling actually product. But if we say that no, Amazon also is manufacturing, then of course that small actually part of the organization we can keep also manufacturing. Okay, but right now we can put Amazon here. Okay, Amazon, hospital, then airport, DMart, Blinkit, 100%. Then anything which we can put like this side, Maruti, or can we put Maruti here? Yeah. So Maruti, then Bajaj Auto, right? HUL, this company. But if you still give some importance to the customer services and all, then we can slightly move them to this side. But yeah, core is actually manufacturing. So we can say 95% manufacturing, 5% importance is there to the service aspect. How do you deal with the customer and all, right? Then where do you put Domino's or McDonald's?
Any hospitality business will be a mix of goods and services.
Okay, goods and services. So we can see here,
Yes.
like Domino or McDonald, because here not only manufacturing also happening, but a lot of participation of the customer is also there. So if you see, it's not only the material is being processed, but you are handling customer, then you are providing information. So this combination also comes, right? So what point we are trying to make it is that the companies can be classified as a manufacturing, they can be classified as a service, or a mix of both. Okay, exactly percentage wise, we are not interested to know that, because we can't go to that level that how much percentage manufacturing or something, but at least Domino, McDonald, we can say 50% service and 50% manufacturing, right? Another one is customization. Like how much customization can be done, right? So which is more, where the more customization is done, where the less customization is there, you think? So very high level of customization, high level of customization, and very low level of customization. So when there is a low level of customization, we call it standardization, right? So we can see that how this company fall also here, customization, and then very high level of customization. So if you see the company like Thermax, which makes boiler, or there is something called tool and die making shop, like B2B business, small amount of tools or dies are made for plastic manufacturing, is a very high level of customization. Higher the level of customization, more the cost, okay, of the operation, right? But then we see that there are companies which are very high level of customization. At other side, we can see that there are companies which are very low level of customization, highly standardized, like soap manufacturing by HUL, highly standardized product, right? Because it meet the requirement of very larger kind of population. So is there anything in between also? So Dell can make a customized laptop based on the kind of configuration you actually select. But what happened here, components are standardized, so they give a feeling of customization. But yes, customization is there, but not a very challenging customization what these people is likely to face. Or IIM Indore t-shirt, which are manufactured. So t-shirt is ready, but only then he put a stamp, because he does additional manufacturing activity. But customization feeling is there, but it's not very challenging. Okay, time, as far as the time and cost is concerned, not now. But because they are still giving a feeling of customization. But yeah, as soon as customization come, you need additional effort, right? So what we can see that there is a degree of customization, okay, at which the companies are operating. Higher the customization, more the cost is, right? But if you can meet the demand, okay, of the customer with very low level of customization and standardization, that makes more sense, because that will be more efficient actually operation. So this is about the manufacturing, right? So is it the case for services also, you think? Okay. So what about this dentist? Hospital mean there is a dentist which is providing very high level of customization, understand the requirement of customer, then do actually work, okay, services. So high level of customization is there. But at other side, if you see airport security clearance, when you enter the airport or boarding. Okay, counters. Very hard, no, high level of, very low level of customization is there, highly standardized. So what we can see that there may be a number of companies which fall between this low level to the high level. So it is a degree of the customization which decide how you configure your manufacturing. So what we can say, low to high level of customization happens both the kind of industry, manufacturing as well as actually service industry. Looks okay so far. Okay. Now we'll see what is the meaning of this transformation process concept used in actually operations. So what we call the operation is the transformation process, which take the input and then there is some kind of output. Correct. And the transformation process take input, output. Then there may be a number of stages also during in that particular transformation process. And what is the output is? Output is goods and then services, right? So then it takes some input, right? So there are something which is taken as input, what we call it material. Then there is something called a customer, which I already defined earlier, or information. So these are the input which are converted into goods or services. So it could be predominant, okay, like something like material, or it could be combination. Like in domino, material processing happens, customer transformation happens, information flow also happens simultaneously, right? So therefore, this is called input transform resources. Okay, and there are input transforming resources which convert this input into output. So facilities, or it could be staff, right? So facility may include machines, utility, okay, staff may be labor, manager, supervisor, quality control inspector, all will fall here. So let us take the example of pizza. Okay, so pizza is a good, okay, similarly customer also is handled during pizza, okay, delivery kind of process or pizza handing over process, right? So what is the input material which or input transform resources in pizza, you think? Customer is there anyway, information flow also happens. But what material get transformed in pizza making process?
Ingredients like flour.
Ingredient. So dough.
Yeah.
Then vegetables, sauces, then oil, a lot of spices, all these material. So I visited this Jordanian factory where these people make a dough. So there are only 3 factories in India which makes doughs. And these doughs are manufactured in very controlled environment, and those are put in the trays, medium, large and small. Only 3 varieties of doughs, right, which are manufactured, and they have their own supply chain. Using that supply chain, okay, refrigerated supply chain, they transport this dough to across all retail, okay, in India. But the most surprising was that vegetable also transported, sauce, oil, every material which are used in the pizzas are transported from this factory only. So everything is sourced to the factory. So like oils which source from certain country also, right? Or vegetable like tomato, all are frozen vegetable, right? There is no local purchases. And what they have done by using these particular sources, they are making sure that pizza in Indore and Kerala is exactly same, which all ingredients are same, and that is what we call conformance. Okay, we'll see that is a part of actually the quality. And customer is being handled in that environment. Then information flow is also happening. That pizza is ordered, then token number is generated, then it is showing information. Then the pizza is growing process. So pizza has come out of the oven, then it is packed, then it is either delivery, okay, for delivery. And if somebody is dining kind of restaurant, then it is showing that pizza is ready, right? Those flows are also happening, right? So what are the facility which are used for making these pizzas? Oven, workstation, then utilities, then computer systems, right? What about the staff? It's a worker who are working, then managers, then receptions, counter, right? But if you see delivery boy, then bike, all these are the facility which are used to deliver actually the pizza, right? So this is what we call the transformation process. So as far as the raw material is concerned, okay, there are three types of format for the material. So what are the three format of raw material? Sorry, material, if you are aware. Raw material, and then we have something called finished good. When the material is not raw material or finished good, then we call it WIP, okay, which is called work in process. And there is a big theory only on work in process, especially how should we manage actually in a shop floor, which we'll see in our next actually in a class with especially the executive shop. So if you see chapati making process, then wheat flour, okay, water, these are the raw material. But roasted chapati is a finished good. Then what could be the work in process in chapati making process?
Just the frozen one that you get the frozen dough.
Dough and rolled chapati.
Yeah.
Which cannot be used either raw material or actually finished. Okay. So let us see now. How do we judge the performance of this transformation process or KPI? So how do we say that this is the transformation is process is doing a good job, or what could be possible KPI on which we can further improve the transformation process, right? So definitely output which are coming out or services which are coming out are evaluated based on the customer feedback and all, and that could be we call it possible KPI. So what could be the possible KPI, you think?
So one is the time at every stage, maybe how much
Yeah,
time is being,
time, right? So within the time there are two. One is the speed, how fast you produce or how fast the services are produced. Another is actually on time. Both are important. Like Amazon mentioning on their dashboard that product will be delivered on Monday. And generally we see that it is delivered on Monday. But if it is delivered on Tuesday or if it is delivered on Wednesday, then speed mention was good, means their ability what they show is a very good, but they are not on time. If this happens very frequently and you are placing an order and then you see that Monday it is likely to come what Amazon says, but then Monday, Tuesday I am leaving. So if it delay by one day, no, then I have to buy new product because I need it urgently. Then there is a high chance that we will not place order. But if you have a very good record of on-time delivery, then there is a more trust, right? So there is a company A and company B. Company A say that we deliver in 5 days, but never deliver. And company B say that we deliver in 7 days, but always deliver. So company the customer may give importance to that B company because Imagine that if it is a B2B company and whole planning is done based on that delivery. Then if it is a company B, then you will plan everything based on that 8 days, whatever future planning you are doing. So otherwise your production actually will get actually the impacted. So that's where time, speed and on time. And does it matters to both manufacturing and service? Yes, it matters to both. Right? How fast you deliver. And certain parameter, again classified parameter also we use here, what we call we can say that manufacturing lead time. So once the product is placed, order on the shop floor, how much time it takes to come out. Similarly, service lead time, that when the order is placed, in how many days the service is actually delivered. So that is what we call service lead time. So yeah, so the time. What could be other than time, you think? So especially there is a company like Blinkit which is trying to compete and capturing market on the basis of speed and on time. I don't know how much they are on time, but I teach, sometimes I am teaching also Six Sigma and all, where I use this particular data. So I collected data of Blinkit delivery from my own app whenever we place the order, and then we try to find out what is the on time delivery. Because if I got 50 order and within a 50 order, only 20 orders were delivered in 10 minutes, then that is how what is actually service on time delivery. Okay, of the Blinkit. What could be other than this, you think, other than time? Cost. What is the cost of service? What is the cost of manufacturing? Right? So that's where we can say cost. And one can say efficiency. Yeah, then it is a reflection of cost only. Means somehow efficiency reflect into the cost. Or if we say that very less number of rework, then also it reflect in the cost. Or it may reflect also in a quality. Right? So cost effectiveness of the manufacturing. What other could be other than the cost, you think?
Quality.
Quality, yes. So quality. So especially how many number of defective products are there? How much time is the service request for the repair is given by the customer? There could be n number of way we can evaluate the quality. The one, see, there could be n number of attributes on which we judge the quality, and that can be collected. But quality. So there is one article in Harvard Business which call it 8 dimensions of quality. And what this article argues that it's not that one parameter of quality we compare. There could be an 8 dimension on which we can compare. And company may not compare all the 8 dimensions, and then customer may not value all 8 dimensions. Right? So what this article finally argues that if the customer is valuing certain attribute, then you make sure your transformation processes are designed for that delivery. Right? So for example, one such attribute, let's say furniture manufacturing company. If you visit the furniture manufacturing company, then what do you think is the most important attribute which actually flag the customer after entry itself? Yeah, based on your experience.
Design.
Customer experience.
Okay, the customer experience. Okay, but what about the quality of product? I'm saying
The design of the product or
design.
the quality
How
of
good it looks. How good it looks means aesthetic, right? Many people get flattened with generally aesthetic. And this particular article says that aesthetic is also one of the parameter on which we compare. There is something called durability also. No, people buy the furniture, later on they realize that aesthetic was very good, but then it is not durable furniture because it starts sagging. And they realize that local people make actually very durable and all, but local people are not good actually on aesthetic. But what this says that yes, aesthetic is the one which the people actually get attracted to. So you have to give a lot of importance to this particular attribute. So aesthetic. Then there is something called durability, right? Then there is something called actually reliability. That how reliable this product is. I don't know reliability come into picture when it is a utensil you buy it. No, probably not. Durability matter more, right? So reliability means how good this product is likely to last. Okay, reliability means how frequently it may fail, right? If it fail, then serviceability, how serviceable this particular actually product is, right? So many times people look at whether there is a service center, how good the services are. So in fact, I have seen people saying that Tata Nexon is really good product, but then their services is not good, right? And therefore people may not buy sometimes the product, correct? So serviceability, performance, and there is something called feature. But one more dimension, what they talk. I have posted this. I will post this article also to you. So one such actually quality dimension is the brand perception. That people have perception about certain brands, correct? So my perception about the certain brands are that if it is a Japanese manufactured product, then my perception is that probably quality is good on this particular product. So that is what they call brand perception. Then there is something called flexibility. Flexibility. So what is the meaning of flexibility? So if you want to buy the shirt, right? So where do you go generally? If you want to buy apparel, local shop generally preferred, or you go some big retail like Pantaloon, Max, something like that. So why do you go to Pantaloon rather than one small local shop buying a shirt? Variety, right? So what we can say? Product variety. This also could be given that how good your transformation process is to produce that variety. If it is demanded by the customer, if it is not demanded by customer, there is no point, because more the product variety you produce, more the costly operations will be. Because imagine that you are stitching the shirt, red color, then green color, white color. If you produce more variety, more setup will be required when you change from one product to another, and more capacity loss. More the capacity loss, more the cost of the production. So dealing with the variety will unnecessarily increase your cost. But if it is valued by customer, how good you are in changing the variety in a transformation process, right? So petrol station, for example, right? So when I visited very long back one of the petrol station, the person asked one question, that what kind of petrol you want? You want a high speed petrol, lead petrol, power petrol? Then actually I knew that such variations are there, but I say that, oh, your petrol station sell all this variety. Then he say, yes, what variety you want? And you know what was the answer of most of the questions whoever visited that petrol station? What petrol variety they buy?
Based on the cost.
बोले भैया सस्ता वाला कौन सा है? Because if you are not able to see the immediate value, even if it is having impact on your vehicle, then people will not value it. But because you are selling the variety, then you will have to have separate tank, separate dispensing unit, then separate actually the staff. Then truck will come with different kind of variations of petrol, and then the cost of operations are very high. But customer is not willing to value it. Then your transformation process is designed for product variety which is not valued, then it is useless, okay, as far as the KPI is concerned. So there was no point. Another one is volume. That how the demand, so this is something related to demand, how the demand variability is there in your product. So if this is how the demand variability is, then this is one of the challenge for transformation process. And especially we said that if it is a service organization, then it is highly challenging to manage the variability of the demand, because you cannot change capacity so easily if you have some fixed capacity for certain time period. So this kind of demand variability, if it is a seasonal, especially in Amazon, when we discuss Amazon, then probably it is easy. Then this variability of demand hourly. If it is hourly, then it's more challenging. Especially there are businesses like DMart which faces this issue. Or Domino also faces this issue when we look at service aspect, delivery and all. Because Domino demands are very low, then goes up and down, up and down. And if imagine that demand is constant, then life of the supply chain is very easy. That's why it is one of the challenge for supply chain, that how do you meet demand with the actually the supply. So generally manufacturing, what they do, they build the inventory by inventorying the capacity to deal with the variety. And then how actually service organization can manage it. Okay, that we'll see when we discuss service. So volume. And third one is the customization. The certain industry, as I say, no, they want customization, either in the service or in the product. So whether your transformation process is capable of producing that customization. So these are the parameter. It says that these are the important KPI on which company compete in the market. And is it that you compete on all the parameters? You may compete on one or two parameter and then other will be qualifying later. Right? Domino compete on the basis of speed. Right? Apple compete on the basis of quality. Right? Then there are other companies, like retail like HUL, okay, fast moving consumer good, then deal with the product variety. Then volume demand very, actually volume flexibility also is one of the important aspect, okay. And that's what we call actually the important KPI on which we compete in the market. And this create a customer segmentation also, right? So if you see, there is something like the magic. There is the magic autos, which moves the people from railway station to another corner of the actually city. Especially in Indore itself, I have seen railway station. They will take to very long distance, and you know how much rupees? 20 rupees or 30 rupees. Because if you go by Ola or private taxis, then it will cost you 400 or 500 rupees. But there is a customer segment who want this low cost one. So this magic and all that, they compete on the basis of cost. But what about the speed and on time? It is some minimum qualifying level, right? So these people will make people sit in the magic. Then they won't start unless it is full. And even if people start shouting, then they will start. Then again move ahead. Then again stop. Then again move ahead. Again then stop. When some point they stop and then passenger asks, is there any space? Even if there is no space, these people say there is a lot of space. They will make people sit on each other lap also. Right? So because their objective is a cost effectiveness, not speed, quality or anything. So that is how the segmentation actually are. Now the question is that how do you know that there is an issue in the KPI? Because see, objective of analysis generally will be that how do you improve this? So especially you see leans also focus on cost, then they also focus on time, then Six Sigma and quality focus on the quality aspect, right? So if there is an issue in the KPI, what could be the possible source that there is a problem in our KPI? And also we know that what is valued by customer also, right? So Blinkit getting a lot of complaint over that you are not delivering in 10 minutes, right? So that means what they are claiming as a speed and on time, right? That is getting impacted. That is their unique selling proposition. So what could be the possible source that yes, because in Hyderabad we are able to deliver in 10 minutes, but maybe in Indore I am not able to deliver, right? Then what could be the possible source for these issues which are in the performance you think?
Maybe locations, sir.
Total factors.
Feedback, we can say, customer feedback. Customer is giving you the feedback. Or you can look at your dashboard that how good we are doing in terms of delivery. So customer feedback is one of the source. Then what could be other you think other than customer feedback?
In a revenue trend, you can see the revenue going down.
Okay.
Maybe could be a reason of one of the KPIs.
Revenue trend we can see is there any issue with our KPIs. Right. Big basket was not in the market. Speed delivery market. they were delivering next day. But now I see Big Basket also got into this Blinkit because they realize that the Blinkit should not take away, otherwise our market to have to be here, right? So far they were doing really good. So competitor, right? How competitor is going on this parameter? Competitor. And then company like Toyota does the self-benchmarking. How this parameter actually look like, right? What is the current delivery, on-time delivery, percentage, whether we can improve it. So if that is to be improved, then all the game is to this transformation process. Therefore, you have to get into the transformation process. That is what we call process flow analysis. And mostly the consulting people do this only, process flow analysis, for which we draw process flow diagram and all those kind of things. So this is the whole idea of actually transformation process. And in our case studies, we'll look at this kind of KPI, right? So if there is a trouble in that particular manufacturing company or service company, then what changes can be done in the transformation process? That is what we call actually process flow analysis. And these are some of the process transformation process. So, material processor, physical properties are changed, generally manufacturing operation or mining or those kind of companies. And then physical properties are changed, something like customers, you are interacting, plastic surgeon, hairdressers, or information properties are changed, then banking and accounting information processor, or position of material is changed from actually retail to actually customer. That is where we call it retail operation. So DMart, right? So if people are making complaints saying that this particular DMart we have very long waiting time, half an hour to 40 minutes when we join actually the queue, then it has something to do with this transformation process. So what changes can be done in transformation process? That expected time, of the waiting can be reduced, right? Location, this postal and distribution, then public transportation and taxi like Ola, right? Then postal and services and port. There are a lot of such companies, especially delivery. Then there are a lot of e-cart kind of portals are there, storage and warehousing companies, right? Hotel, then we can say Go IP Go. This is where also people are, these kind of people are, businesses are recruiting also the MBAs. How much should be my minimum inventory and all those kind. So given the trend where the issue is, we can look at that transformation process like this. Okay. So this is what we call transformation process. And as we say that any company in the world will actually compete on these parameters, right? So order winners are the one on which we compete in the market. Order qualifiers are the one which are minimum qualifying, right? So domino compete on the basis of speed, but they still have some minimum qualifying cost of the pizza. And I think they talk about 99 rupees pizza and all. So generally when people visit pizza shop, they think that 99 rupees we are getting pizza. But once they go, they realize that it is very dry kind of things. Then they say, can you add something? Then they say, we'll add it. And by the time you buy it, then it is 500, 600 rupees. So it is not very actually cheap product, but it is again actually the costly product. But yeah, rupees 500, but it is around 5,000. Means if you make it 5,000, you deliver again maybe within a half an hour or 15 minutes, people may not buy, right? So what we say that there will be some minimum qualifying level, right? But then there is something on which you compete in the market. Right? So this is what actually operational analysis, what we can think of. So let us say that what are the attributes on which you are competing in the market. So let us say delivery cost, quality, flexibility, so speed and on time, factory cost, rework and defect. Then we say what is the current level, then how the market is doing right now, how the competitors are doing, so what could be our target be, and then we can go for different kind of transformation improvement kind of process. So lean, then process analysis, then there could be something like Six Sigma. So these are the things which will improve actually means a particular transformation the process. So let us see some other concept in operations. This is for manufacturing. What it says that whatever processes we are using, okay, it should reflect that competitive priority, means on which parameter you are competing. I mean, there are so many actually, supporting things which we are doing in this manufacturing or services, then that should be actually triggers to an improvement of that aspect or attribute, right? But we can classify manufacturing company into certain category, and that we can classify based on what kind of characteristics is there of the process which are used for manufacturing, and how much customization and volumes we are producing in quantity, right? So based on that, we can classify the manufacturing company into 4 categories: job, batch, line, and continuous flow chart. Right? So this is what we call actually the product process matrix. So somewhere in 1979, 2 people studied a lot of manufacturing company, and they have come up with this product process matrix, saying that this is how the company can be classified. And one important aspect on which you come, these are classified into these categories based on the kind of challenges this company faces are similar, right? So what is the difference between all these 3, right? So these 3 are called discrete manufacturing. What is the meaning of discrete manufacturing is that I can say that one product, another product, third one, one shirt, another shirt, third shirt, like that. And there is something called continuous process where we cannot separate product very easily, and therefore this is called a liquid kind of product. Right? So if I go and see now any industry, I can see that is it discrete or it is a liquid, and then we classify, right, based on that continuous process, right? Paper mill, oil industry, steel industry, all these fall into continuous process. And one of the challenge for these kind of companies are the process monitoring and control and raw material availability. If raw material is not available, no, then plant stop, then it will become very difficult to stop. In discrete manufacturing, if raw material is not available, no, even if you stop for 1 minute, still it is okay. You can restart after 1 minute. But in continuous process, you cannot do it. Right? This is called discrete. And within a discrete, there are 3 categories: job shop, batch process, and line shop or assembly line. Basically, original definition was line, but the concept was used mostly by the company which assemble the product. That's why people started saying it assembly line, assembly line, assembly line, right? So what is the difference between these 2, these 3? It is standardized product, assembly line. Here it is a customized product. Unless the customer requirement is known, we cannot produce it. So customize. So some customization is required. That's why customer give actually input. So what is this? This is actually in a large variety, but no. Maybe in this between these 2 it actually falls. But this company produces product in batches, right? So our next company is batch manufacturing, which produces shirt of different variety in batches, right? Or it moves actually the batch. That is what we call batch. So apparel manufacturing is one such example. So one of the challenge for apparel manufacturing company is the forecasting. That what sizes, what color combination we should manufacture. So shoe manufacturing also faces similar kind of issues, and therefore that is also like a batch manufacturing, right? But some company may have combination also, right? So Ashok Leyland, when I visited very long back, they have batch process as well as line shop also, assembly line, where the assembling of gearboxes are done, right? So somebody raised the hand, I think.
Yes, so I just had one doubt in continuous process. For example, if we take example of oil manufacturing, but the end product is oil in 1 liter bottles. So will it be continuous or discrete, since bottles we can categorize as first bottle, second bottle, third bottle?
Yeah.
Just for clarity's sake.
Yeah. So maybe major portion is actually oil. So last work station only no oil is filled, which are separating actually. So we can still make, so because as far as the No seed availability is concerning, plant stop, it will stop. So filling in the package is still okay, right? That is the last process, but we can still classify it as a continuous process. So here there is one company called Balaji Chips, where potato keeps on continuously coming, then cleaning, then peeling, then actually chipping, okay, and then actually cleaning further, then bit of warming in the water, then it passes, then drying, and then it passes through oil, and then further it goes, then mix it, then last process the packaging. They fill it into different sizes of packet, but major portion is like continuous flow.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so if you see here, this particular axis, high volume, very few product, this side. Sugar mill produces only one size or two size of the sugar, but in large volume is large quantity. But batch shop, okay, which is customized product, they will produce large main product, but in small volume, like fabrication shop, tool and die making shop. So each customer order will change, but like two orders, or actually two numbers, three number, 10 number, fabrication window like that, it will actually change. So that's what we call one axis. And then there is a vertical axis which is called type of layout. So generally this job or batch process are actually process layout, or this is called functional layout. So what is the meaning of functional or process layout? The machines are arranged as per the function. Like one good example of process or functional layout is hospital. Eye specialty separate, skin specialty separate. Because when patient comes, patient may not go through all specialty. If that was the case, then they would have arranged one specialist and would have made like a line. Right? So functional layout. We don't know how the product flow will be, right? So it will be decided based on the requirement. But this side, it is highly rigid product flow, which we call it product layout. Means the machines or workstations are arranged as per the requirement of product. Like boiler is required, then later on again boiler is required, then again they will install that particular point. All boilers are not together. It is called product lab. So these kind of works companies are actually using the product lab. And generally functional lab or product lab. And these kind of companies are general purpose machines, which can do multiple jobs. And this is what we call special purpose machinery, right? So Bajaj Auto making a bike and the kind of workstation it has is highly specialized. It cannot change anything so easily. You cannot change the size of the cylinder or the size of the seat very easily. Highly specialized. So as far as the skill requirement is concerned, here the skill requirement may be very high. Here it could be low skill. This is the idea which are used by the Henry Ford, because when you do the standardized work continuously, then time required to that job will be reduced, and skill requirement will also be picked up very fast, because you are doing the same job again and again. So this is what we call actually product process matrix, right? So what I do, I just show you small video of product process actually matrix.
Manufacturing Manufacturing operations can be broken down into 4 general processes: job shop, batch processing, assembly line, and continuous process. This product process matrix graphic shows the relationship between these 4 processes and the 3 main variables of each: product variety, equipment flexibility, and production volume. The first factor is product variety, or how much the product changes from customer to customer. A steel manufacturer, for example, will normally produce a single product. A tool shop, on the other hand, produces each product based on the unique and specific needs of each customer. The second determining factor is the type of equipment used to produce the product. The steel manufacturer has very rigid, highly integrated equipment needs, and each piece of equipment has a specific job that rarely changes. In the case of a tool shop, the project dictates what equipment will be required. The third factor that can determine how a product is made is the volume of the product to be produced. A steel plant, for example, produces in huge volumes. A tool shop, on the other hand, will produce a comparatively small volume of custom tools depending on customer needs.
Okay, this is a one video. So I will put this also in Google Drive. There are small video which explain actually the concept. Right? So let us see. So I will continue for and then finish the introduction so that next class we can discuss actually the case. Right. So this is one way we can look at the company, that if I get into any company, I will first classify what kind of company it is. Right. So let us see one more classification, okay, of supply chain. What is this supply chain structures are? Okay, and then we link it to this product process companies also. If we want to buy toothpaste, then what we do? We go to the shop and buy it. So shopkeeper were not available, and manufacturing were not available, that who is going to buy this particular toothpaste. Means product was ready at retail shop. This is what we call make to stock supply chain. MTS is called make to stock actually the supply chain, right? So if we see this, how this supply chain looks like. So there is actually distributor, there is actually wholesaler, there is a retailer, and this finished good inventory is there everywhere, right? So we go and check where it is being manufactured. We see there is a raw material and WIP, and there is a warehouse where the finished good is also managed. This is what we call make to stock. So HUL is like a make to stock supply chain, right? And if we want to buy the laptop, we can go and buy from retail shop. So Dell also is like make to stock supply chain. But at other side, if the customer places the order and give the specification, then only we can manufacture it. This is what we call make to order supply chain. So make to order actually supply chain. And if we go and check what is there, here there is a raw material, then WIP, something is being produced. But generally finished good inventory is not there because it is immediately shipped to the customer, right? So this is what we call make to stock. So like tool and die making shop, or then Thermax. So there may be a number of companies we can find out which are like a make to order. But in between, there is one more company, okay, which is called ATO, assembled to order. Assembled to order company, and who revolutionized this assembled to order concept as a part of this supply chain theory. It is actually not Dell. Okay, so when Dell entered into even Indian market, before that they were in USA market, they came up with the idea that we will assemble the laptop for you, as per your requirement. In fact, the laptop which I am using right now of Lenovo, it is the assembled one, okay, which was manufactured in China after my order placement, and then it was delivered, okay, to IIM. So assembled to order. Why? What they are doing? They are keeping raw material components which are highly standardized component. So RAM, 1 GB, 2 GB, then hard disk. So there are so many configuration of product which is available in different, and then one can make millions of configuration using this. So the product is not kept actually at final finished product. It is kept at the standardized actually level. So if this is how the supply chain is, raw material, WIP, and finished good inventory will not be there. It will be delivered directly to the customer. So if you see, the Dell actually operate in both make to stock as well as actually assembled to order. So why we cannot call it, why it is not called make to order, even though it is giving a feeling of make to order? Because it also competes on the basis of standardization. So when we can say it is a make to order, if we actually place order saying that I want 1.2 GB RAM, then they place order to Intel, and like that they get the component manufacturer and then assemble. Then actually we can say make to order, but it is very costly then, because you have to change the product, track the product. So that is how it is actually very costly kind of things. So therefore we cannot call it. Again here, furniture manufacturing company which take the order based on customer actually specification, those also falls here. So this is what we call supply chain structure. So if I can classify the company, then I can as well classify that what kind of supply chain this company is. Is it assembled to order, make to stock, or make to order? Or is it a combination of actually both, right? But where do you think then domino fall here? So we'll take 2 minutes and then close.
Sir, ATO.
ATO, so domino, subway, because 6 inch or 12 inch. Then what combination means? Domino, large, medium, small. Then material, everything highly standardized, and then simply it is assembled. So that's why we call it assemble to order kind of company. And if you see, okay, let me show you this one slide and then we close. This is how our companies are. So as you move from make to stock to make to order, the customer response time actually increases. Right? Now it depends that how time play a very important role, which we'll see in executive shot, because in retail shop time does not play important role for a customer. But when you place order and make to order, then time play an important role. So the manufacturing lead time become very, very important aspect, right? So these are the some of the companies. These are the shops which deal with this kind of supply chain. Generally, the job shops are always make to order. Then line shops are assembled to order as well as make to stock. Continuous flow stop shops are likely to be make to stock. Then batch fall in all these three categories. Right? That is how we can say the process summary, supply chain structure, and then process. And then we will see also the cases for each. So batch shop, we'll discuss next class executive shop. And when you are on campus, we'll also discuss continuous flow shops. And then in services, I will talk about how batch shop can be handled. And then I also will give you some idea of how the line shops looks like, right? And then especially focus will be on process flow analysis. And this is finally the definition of operations management. So process of managing resources to deliver good and services to customer. Okay, so any question? Okay, so I will post also this PPT in Google Drive and share it to you so you can access also it. And then next class, we have to read the case called Executive Shirt Limited. Okay, this is shirt manufacturing company. And here we will see all the concepts, operations management. And it is such a classic case that with executive shirt, I can later will show you that how executive shirt is like Amazon, how conceptual it is, okay, when we think, okay, while applying this particular concept. So I hope you have got executive shirt case also in Drive. Are you got, or just check? There is operation management terminology and then is executive shirt case also. मिल गई क्या गौरव जी? ठीक है, अगर नहीं भी मिली होगी तो जस्ट लेट मी नो.
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो नहीं मिला है.